Have you ever picked up a piece of cheese while playing Skyrim and wondered, has anyone ever collected all of these? Well, the answer is yes, and you're looking at him. 9 months ago, I released a first Cheesehome video in which I collected every piece of cheese in Skyrim. But there's still the cheese added by DLC remaining to be collected, and in this video I'm going to be doing exactly that. Now, I originally thought the remaining cheese to be collected was 156, but then I read a comment reminding me of the Creation Club. If we include the DLCs added by the Creation Club, then the number actually goes up to 254. But we're only going to be including the official creations, okay? The ones featured by Bethesda themselves. Otherwise, I'm gonna be here forever. Another suggestion I saw quite frequently was that I should make a mod which adds a quest marker to each piece of cheese, but there are a couple of problems with this. One, I have no idea how to do that, but I'm also a seasoned veteran, okay? And I feel like having quest markers would make it far too easy. You know, I need something to keep me preoccupied while I wait for Elder Scrolls 6. It's coming any day now, guys. So I made another map, and it's even better than the first one. Look at this. I finally upgraded to paper, which the Chinese invented only 2,000 years ago. Now, if we take a closer look here, you'll see that there's these sort of chains of cheese, alright? And these represent the locations that have the most cheese, the majority of which are player homes added by the Creation Club. I decided to start by tackling these since they'll be the easiest, and then move on to the more challenging DLCs. Or well, I say challenging, but let's be real, I'm a seasoned veteran, which is exactly why I turned my difficulty up to the max. If you'll remember from the first video, I had some troubles with certain NPCs killing me with their overpowered weapons, and I can confidently say that this time around, nothing has changed. Exactly 5 minutes later, a dragon appeared and ate me. Along with the 12 cheese that I had collected from Golden Hills, that I didn't save after getting. Alright, so I'd say we're off to a pretty good start. After reliving that traumatic experience, I made my way on over to Morphall. Probably the first time that sentence has been uttered in human history, but I had come to Morphall with good reason. See, the player home of Mirewatch has 15 cheese inside, and I was determined to get my hands on it. So I went through the little quest line, and in a very convenient fashion, the tower was unlocked by mysterious forces. Officer, you have to believe me, that guy's car was unlocked by mysterious forces. With the second location crossed off the map, this time I made my way on over to Hendraheim, and in order to gain access, I would need to beat the owner in a fair, honourable duel. So I decided to summon a dragon that burned her alive. With another 8 cheese in the bag, I was starting to feel pretty good. You know, I was getting in my stride here. I felt like I was on a record-breaking time. But on the journey towards Bloodchill Manor, I started thinking, what actually is time? You know, how do you define if something takes a long time or a short time? For example, let's take Elder Scrolls 6. A lot of people are saying that it's taking a long time, right? But for all we know, it could release right around the corner, okay? It could release tomorrow, it could release a day after. My mind thinks back to the ancient historical texts. For example, take the empty fort theory, where in 228 AD, the Chancellor Zhuge Liang defended a town against an army of 150,000 by telling his men to hide and opening the gates while he sat on the wall and played his lute. The opposing army thought it was a trap, so they ordered a full retreat, and it just goes to show that appearances can be deceiving. Anyways, I had arrived at the next player home where I sat down for a delicious dinner of grilled salmon, baked potatoes, and cheese. Oh yes, please. It turns out they were vampires though, so I had to put them in their place and, more importantly, put the 11 cheese at Bloodchill Manor in my inventory. Following this, I subsequently did the same thing at all of the other player homes. You might be thinking, but Electus, what about Shadowfoot Sanctum? What about... I'm not going to try and pronounce that place. What about Tundra Homestead? Yeah, look, once you've done one Creation Club player home, you've basically done them all. I mean, this place had robots, which I guess that was pretty cool, but then I had to spend like 5 minutes trying to find this bowl of mammoth cheese, so I had already lost my patience. But now that I had finished the Creation Club content, I could finally get started on more Creation Club content. It's all Creation Club content. The year of the Creation Club is upon us. The Creation Club content led me to the Creation Club sewers, where I fought the Creation Club boss who put me in a Creation Club death loop. Yes, that's right. A naked guy on novice difficulty put me in an infinite death loop. And I don't want to hear a single thing about it in the comments. Listen, if I hear any of you mention this, then you can say goodbye to my flawless upload schedule. Bam! Oh! Dude, I'm uninstalling this game. So, yeah, like you saw, after beating the boss, I stole his journal, and then stole his cheese, and then read his journal in front of all of the townspeople to embarrass him. It's what he deserves, even in death. I hate that guy. But the good news is that after finishing the Saints and Seducers questline, I could finally get started on Heartfire, which is the third main installment DLC of Skyrim. Or at least I want to say that it is, but then I go to the wiki and I see this thing called Fall of the Space Corps Volume 1. What the hell even is this? To celebrate the opening of the Steam Workshop for Skyrim, Valve and Bethesda have teamed up to bring you the Portal 2 Space Corps mod. Oh yes, my favourite DLC of all, Portal 2, which will let the aggressively space-centric little robot tag along in your adventures in Tamriel. Am I the only one who had no idea this was a thing? Anyway, if I scroll down here, yeah, see, Heartfire. That's what I'm doing now. It's 600 yen. So in total, there's 3 buildings that you can construct in Heartfire. There's the one in Dawnstar, there's the one in Falkreath, and then there's the one in... There's the one in Morphal. Who is building the house in Morphal? Or, well, I guess I am, but look, I can tell you right now, it's not the first one that I did, okay? The first one that I did was Dawnstar. I made my way on over to Dawnstar, I bought that land for 5,000 gold, and then I walked on over to that land, and then I built on that land. I worked the land day and night, taking no breaks, no rest. None of you would have any idea about how hard I work. Do you have any idea how much effort it takes for me to press left click? Oh, Jesus, guys, this is gonna add like another 2 weeks to the video. Okay, that started off as a joke, but I'm gonna be level with you here. It actually might. I very quickly began to realize how much time Heartfire was going to take. I gotta put in the frames, I'm building stuff, I'm hiring a steward. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to hire a steward? I've already killed most of the people in Skyrim! Even after finishing the first house, I still had the other 2 to take care of. Building, buying, collecting, building, buying, collecting, building, buying, collecting. Throughout all of this, there was only one thing keeping my mind intact, one thing holding me together. Elder Scrolls 6. I go to bed at night. I dream of Elder Scrolls 6. I read a book. The title of it is Elder Scrolls 6. My son comes home from school. I slap him because he's not Elder Scrolls 6. I read an Elder Scroll in my inventory. I'm blind. It had to be right around the corner. It had to be, or else what was all of this for? What was even the point? At the end of the dark tunnel, I saw a light. I thought it was Elder Scrolls 6, but in reality, it was just more cheese. I had finished building the homes for Heartfire, and so, in one swift motion, I went through all of them and collected the remaining cheese in the DLC. All that was left now was Dawnguard and Solstheim, or Dragonborn. Dude, who calls it the Dragonborn DLC? Come on, everybody calls it Solstheim. Alright everyone, it's time to tackle Dawnguard. You know what time it is, because I just told you. So I went to go join them, and then I killed Agmar, and then I went to Dim Hollow Crypt, and I killed vampires. And then I went to Castle Volkihar, and I had a whole interaction, which you can't actually hear because my audio cut out, it stopped working. But I did have subtitles on, so I decided that I'm just gonna narrate the interaction for you. Perhaps you still need convincing. Behold the power! Ah! Okay, hey. Can you just take a couple steps forward? Come on, dude, I planned this whole thing out. This is the power that I offer. Anyways, I got kicked out. I can't imagine what for. So I went back to Eastron and I told him, look, man, there's some crazy-ass vampires over there. We gotta do something about this. I have no hidden intentions whatsoever. So Eastron told me to go recruit these 2 people. Soreen was pretty easy. All I had to do was pass a speech check with her. But then I had to go to the Rift to recruit this Gunmar guy. Let me tell you, this guy's a piece of work. He tells me he's only gonna join the Dawnguard if I help him kill a bear. So I'm thinking, okay, let's go kill the bear. Alright, well I guess this is a bear, let me just go ahead and kill it for him. Ah, no, my bad guys, my bad, that wasn't the right bear, I gotta go kill another bear. Okay, this is definitely the right bear right here, I have a good feeling about this bear, let me just kill it and nope, different bear, come on, this bear has gotta be the right one, surely. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, so like 5 minutes later, I had finally killed enough bears, I was surrounded by a goddamn mass grave of bears. I guess I'd spilled enough bear blood for this guy to finally come join the Dawn Guard, so I had both people now. Hooray! I don't need a crossbow because I already have 100% accuracy, and Gunmar basically just sells you trolls. I don't like trolls. I don't like trolls because the word troll, it rhymes with mole. I don't like that. I don't like that troll and mole sound similar. You're never going to see me buying a troll from this guy Gunmar. This goddamn bear serial killer. Alright, do not let Gunmar see a single bear in a 10-mile radius. He's gonna eradicate his entire bloodline. Sorry, I'm still going on about the bears. So following this, me and Serana had to go into the Soul Cairn. I had to get my soul ripped out of my body. That wasn't very pleasant. This is probably what it feels like for a YouTuber when they take a sponsorship for the first time. At the end of it all, we finally get the Elder Scroll for the Moth Priest to read, and then Durnavir shows up and starts asking me to summon him in Tamriel or something. You know, he misses flying in the sky. I never summon this guy. I'm gonna tell you right now, I never summon this guy. Not a single time over the rest of this video do I ever summon Durnavir. So we venture into the Forgotten Vale and I go ahead and get me that bow. I'm kind of skipping a lot of details in between, but it was pretty boring. Nothing really significant happened. I mean, like, there was 2 snow elves. We had the good one and the bad one. It was kind of funny shouting the evil one off the ledge, but then that broke the questline and I had to reload a quick save. But finally, I had acquired Auriel's bow. With this weapon and my 100% accuracy, I could slay Harkin and collect the last of the cheese at Fort Dawnguard. The time to strike was now. Alright guys, come on, time for the field trip, let's go. Alright, check this out, 100% accuracy incoming. God damn it, stop shooting fireballs at me. And what happens when you've slain me? Is Valerica next? Is Serana? I would never harm Serana. She's too important to me. Then my daughter is truly lost. She died the moment she accepted a mortal into her life, I guess. Enough of this! Yes, quite. I'm growing weary of speaking to you and my traitorous daughter. I'll give you a single chance to turn the bow over to me. There will not be a second. Okay, I guess. Very well then, you leave me no choice. Time to die. Okay, it's in this battle with Harkin that I demonstrate my special technique. Swinging wildly with no plan whatsoever. Look at this. Look at the form on these swings. It looks dumb, but it was actually pretty effective. I ended up killing him by doing this. And obviously, after he's dead, this is going to be a very heartbreaking moment for Serana, right? I just killed her father in front of her. I'm just gonna take a couple things. She probably won't mind. Ah, who let the goddamn troll in here? I don't want to see this troll. I don't trust these trolls, alright? Never trust a troll. That's what, I don't know, someone probably said. Not Gunmar, that's for sure. He was too busy killing bears. Finally, I could return to Fort Dawnguard and collect the remaining 26 cheese, which is exactly what I did. And it was only after collecting it that I realized I had completely forgotten about Redwater Den. I had to go back there and collect the 2 cheese. But now, with Dawnguard being fully wrapped up, there was only one place left. One last bastion of cheese holding out. And that is Solstheim. Also known as the Dragonborn DLC. Who the hell calls it that? Arriving at Solstheim on a ship, the first thing I noticed is that the weather here is somehow even worse than in Morfall. I didn't think that was possible. Stepping off the ship, I went ahead and switched to the second cheese map. That's right, I have 2 of these bad boys, and I love them both equally. This second map covers all of the cheese that can be found throughout Solstheim, 36 of which are located specifically in Raven Rock. Unfortunately, I forgot the first rule of Solstheim, which is you can't have anything in Solstheim, so I ended up getting possessed into doing manual labor.
Dead for thousands of years.
What the hell just happened to that guy?
I'm not sure. But it is fascinating, isn't it? Perhaps it has some relation to...
Alright, I'll go look there. Have you tried to stop this?
Certainly not. Doing so would interfere with what...
1, 2, 3, 4... Oh, yes, my favorite home feature. The display case filled with human skulls. Alright, that was like 4. I gotta be careful not to lose the count. So that should be 4. I've kind of already forgotten. 4. Abandoned building. 4. Is there any cheese in the abandoned building? 4. Exiting the abandoned building, I walked over to Len Farm where I collected 3 cheese and entered the retching niche where I killed a man before collecting another 8, then picking up 10 at Morvayan Manor. By the way, my audio capture on OBS stopped working again, so I was starting to sound a little bit crazy. You know, it looks like I'm talking to myself. I mean, I'm not talking to myself, but it kind of looks like I am. You then fire this guy. Fire him, he's talking shit to me from the other side of the room. I don't appreciate your attitude. Fine, I will. 44. 45. I think, is that all of it? Is that all of it? Hold on. It was not all of it. I ended up missing a piece on a table in the retching niche. I had to come back later to get it and fix the map. Anyways, after this I went to Fort Frostmoth and killed this guy, and at first I couldn't find the cheese here. But then I went into the basement and lo and behold, there it was. 8 cheese sitting on a shelf. Unfortunately, this put me over my carry limit though, so I ended up having to drop a bunch of ancient weapons and artifacts that I've been hoarding. I mean, imagine you just stumble into an abandoned fort one day and you find the literal bow of God. After this, I collected 1 measly piece of cheese at Rodolph's house and then entered the cellar at Attia's farm to begin the Ghosts of the Tribunal questline. Technically, I could just break in and kill everyone, but it's far easier to infiltrate the cult. Guys, the main character has arrived. No need to worry. How do I do this? Hello? Can I just guess it? What if I guess it? Bam. 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 That's the combination. Shit. I'm just lying. I was kidding. It was a joke. This is the actual combination. Bam. 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 Check it out. You gotta be kidding me. They have no idea that I just stole their most valuable possessions. 2 pieces of cheese. It was after this I tried to collect a piece of cheese at the abandoned lodge, and the reason I say tried is because it doesn't exist. Look, I'll own up to my mistakes. This was actually a little bit of an oopsie on my part. When I was putting the map together with the creation kit, I got 2 locations mixed up with one another. See, there's this abandoned cell that gets added by the Buttercup creation content, and I thought that that was the abandoned lodge on Solstheim. I ended up having to go back to Skyrim just to do this DLC and get the cheese that was there, and then come all the way back to Solstheim. Let me just fix that there. Yep. I'm really proving wrong all of the people that told me to use quest markers for this. The next place after this was High Point Tower, which should have been far easier than it actually was, but unfortunately I'm blind. I missed like multiple easy pieces of cheese that should have been easy to collect, and although I got it in the end, by this point multiple hours of collecting cheese was beginning to take its toll on me. Eventually I stumbled my way over to Bloodskull Barrow, which was also the wrong location. I actually needed to be at Damphall Mine. In total, there was 7 cheese here, so I made my way through the mine, killing every reaver in sight. I'm not even gonna lie here, probably like half the population of Solstheim is in this cave. In the end, I had to rely on the creation kit to find where the cheese I'd missed was. Either cheese blends so well into its surroundings, you would think it was put there specifically to annoy me. So after making it to Bristleback Cave first try, I collected 1 piece of cheese and then spent exactly the next 6 minutes going in circles trying to find the other 3. As you can probably tell, I was having a lot of fun. Another place crossed off. Yay! After Bristleback Cave, it was just the top right half of the map to tackle. I started with Ben Kongarike Cave. The name might make you think, who's Ben? Is he in here? No. It's just more Reeklings. Biggest disappointment of my life. Or at least it was until I collected the 7 cheese and arrived at the end of the cave. You see, it was here where I found a black book, specifically the Black Book of Untold Legends. The writing is on the wall. You better believe I read that thing in a heartbeat. This transported me to Apocrypha, and I knew that if there was anywhere that would know when Elder Scrolls 6 is releasing, it would be here. It's basically the Library of Alexandria. if they also had these things. But Hermaeus Mora is a sneaky guy. He thinks he can keep the knowledge of Elder Scrolls 6 all to himself. I had to navigate seekers, shifting corridors, and transitionary loading screens. But his efforts would prove futile as I arrived at the final book. I mean, come on, Untold Legends, it's so obvious. See, I knew this entire time that Bethesda would send me a sign, that I just had to remain faithful, and now the doubters have been proven wrong. Well, the believers will be rewarded with bardic knowledge. Summons a spectral drum that plays for you, increasing stamina regeneration. That's it. I'm taking things into my own hands. Dear Bethesda, I would please like to know when Elder Scrolls 6 is. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna call them.
Greetings. You've reached the voicemail message system for customer support at Elder Scrolls Online, Bethesda, and other ZeniMax products. Please leave a message with your name, phone number, and a short description of your issue after the tone.
This was the end and the death. The end of my faith in Elder Scrolls 6 and the death of my psyche. I left Ben Congerike a hollow man. All I had to show for it was 7 cheese and a spectral drum. The song it played was a constant reminder of my failure. How stupid I was to think that Elder Scrolls 6 would release in my lifetime. Perhaps my great-grandkids will finally get to see the gameplay trailer. Why, Bethesda? Why have you forsaken me? But despite my depressive state, I forced myself to move on. There was only a couple of locations left, and then the challenge would finally be finished. The next location I went to was Frossel. This place only had free cheese, but despite the fact it took me a long time to collect it all, I was starting to get sloppy, missing obvious cheese. But thankfully there was only 2 locations remaining after this, so I sulkily walked over to Skull Village and began breaking into people's homes and stealing their cheese. In total, it was 26 cheese that I got from this place, and it was finally time for my pilgrimage to reach its conclusion. There it was. The final piece of cheese, the 2024th piece, and it's a bowl of mammoth cheese. In collecting that last piece, I was finally free. 254 cheese. The only thing to do now was fast travel back to Cheesehome and add it to the collection. Obviously, I had to do this by hand, which gave me a lot of time to do some thinking. You know, all of the cheese that we've collected on this journey, they were all hand-placed. Another human being took time out of their life to place them, as I've taken time out of mine to collect them. And 2024 pieces is no small task. I mean, some of it is conditional and requires certain parameters to be true. Others are in places that the player will only visit once, and no, I'm not talking about Morval. Some of the cheese is also glitched, but to me, that almost makes the game more endearing. There's a perfection to be found in imperfection, and when you consider that all of this handcrafted effort had to be put just into this one object while ignoring all the other countless amounts of items and objects, it becomes quite incredible that this game could have ever been made. And when you play a game for long enough, you arrive at a certain point where you have to start making your own fun. I think that with every piece of cheese I collected, I was filling the void left in me by Elder Scrolls 6. But now that I've collected it all, I can't help but feel that as long as Elder Scrolls 6 has just as much painstakingly handcrafted detail put into it as Skyrim did, then I'm okay with waiting, no matter how long it takes. Or maybe I just wanted to collect a bunch of cheese because Cheesehome sounds funny. Regardless, let's go!